The words we use don't just label reality, they actively build it. Language is a tool, and it is never neutral. Consider the difference between calling someone childlike versus childish. The dictionary definitions are similar, but the emotional meaning, the connotation, is worlds apart. One is a compliment, the other an insult. This is where power begins. Now apply that to politics. Is a group of armed fighters freedom fighters or terrorists? Are people crossing a border asylum seekers or illegal aliens? The term chosen isn't a neutral description, it's an argument. It shapes your judgment before you've heard a single fact. This tool can be used to hide uncomfortable truths. When a military bomb kills civilians, it's called collateral damage. When a government tortures someone, it's called enhanced interrogation. These aren't just polite phrases, they are a moral anesthetic designed to make brutal acts sound like sterile administrative procedures. It operates in simpler ways too. A politician says, "We face this challenge together, and you feel included." Then they pivot. They threaten our way of life, and suddenly an enemy is created. The simple choice of we versus they draws a line in the sand. George Orwell warned of this in his novel 1984. The totalitarian state creates newspeak, a language designed to make rebellion impossible by removing the words for it. If no word for freedom exists, can the concept even survive? Language is a battleground. Every day, terms like climate change versus climate crisis, or tax relief versus tax cuts frame our understanding and limit our debates. So when you hear a carefully chosen phrase, ask yourself, what reality is this language trying to build? And more importantly, whose reality is it trying to erase?